Hello everyone. So the patch notes are out and we'll go through them and I'll share my opinion in regards to every single card that was either buffed or tweaked or nerfed. So let's start with this. I already saw the leak that was shared, so I kinda have an idea of what's going on here, but I wanted to wait until it's officially posted so I can share my opinions on it. So first card, Darius was buffed. His health went from 5 to 6. So the thing with Darius is when he levels up, he doesn't gain any HP, he just gains damage. He gains an extra 4 damage. And in most cases, he goes for a swing, he deals the damage he's supposed to do to the Nexus, and he just dies. In most cases, you can deal enough damage to Darius that he just dies and he won't go for a second swing. This buff increases the chances that he might survive one round extra and probably swing another time, or at least commit a spell or a card, an extra card, to killing him. So I think the buff is warranted. I think there is needed a little bit of a buff, not something crazy, but just a little bit. So Anivia's mana cost was dropped from 7 to 6. This is, I believe, is a revert. I think Anivia was actually a 6 mana drop. Does this make her more playable? I don't think so. Uh, like it's nice having her at 6. You can drop her earlier, but Anivia isn't really a threat until she's leveled. And you can kill her pretty much easily when she attacks. Keep her in egg form or even kill the egg until she hits enlightenment where she gets resurrected or the egg hatches and comes back stronger. So until enlightenment she's not really much of a threat. I don't think anything changed with that. And honestly, after Misfortune was introduced to the game, Misfortune pretty much does a better job at what Anivia does for less mana. Okay, Braum. So they increased his mana from 3 to 4, but gave him 1 damage. Now, I don't know if that actually makes him a good card. I don't think so, in my opinion. I don't think it's still enough. I mean, definitely the 1 damage can be useful to take out units, which Braum wouldn't be able to unless you commit a card to buffing him. Transfusion or the one card that gives you 3/3 if you're damaged. This will help him take out units. So Mega Rocket is now 1 man. I don't know. I hate Jinx, to be honest. I really, really hate Jinx. I think this is really scary. Because sometimes, like, a Jinx would have only 1 mana and she wouldn't be able to use the rocket. But definitely Jinx hasn't been seeing any play, so she probably needed something. And this probably helps. Elmheart is now a 5/5 instead of a 4/4. Elmheart is basically a bannerman, but for only one round, and she has better stats. She has scout. She has challenger. Yeah, I think this will make Elmheart more playable now. I think we're gonna see a lot of Elmhearts now. I think scouts is gonna be a tier 1 deck after the patch comes out. Unyielding, most people were complaining about this. They made it into a fast spell instead of a burst spell. In my opinion, I also shared this on Twitter. I think Unyielding Spirit, like this change is good. Don't get me wrong. It opens more counterplay for you to make. I think Unyielding Spirit's effect on a target shouldn't be unlimited. They should set it for a specific number of rounds. I don't know how long would be acceptable, but maybe 3 or 4 rounds would be enough. And after that, the effect just wears off. I think that would be a better change than making it a fast spell. You can keep it a burst spell, and you can, I don't know, make it 7 mana if you want to. But I think that effect would be better than making it fast spell. But this does open a lot of counter play. You can deny it. You can will the target before he even uses it. You can use single combat and kill the target. You can use vengeance and kill the target. So pretty much this opens a lot of counterplay for Unyielding Spirit. The thing with Silk Rider is it has a lot of stats, but its health is 2 and pretty much dies easily. when played. You can put any small unit on it and just kill it. Uh, Making it 5/3 makes it harder to kill. With Allegiance, obviously it has better stats. 6/4 for 4 mana. Captain Pharaon, uh, you don't see this card at all being played. I don't remember seeing it played in so long, unless I'm playing normal games. The card is pretty heavy, 8 mana, 8/8. It has Overwhelm, which is nice. The only thing is, it changes all your cards in your hand to Decimate, which are slow spells, which in most cases you don't want. A lot of times you don't want that. Uh, it can win you the game, but in most cases it doesn't. Uh, by the time you play all the slow spells, your opponent will probably finish the game because it's pretty much late game at that point. Now, instead of changing all your cards to Decimate, it gives you 3 Decimates in your hand. Will this make it more playable? I don't think so. I don't think it's worth it. Aurora Boreals. I don't see this card at all. It's now they pretty much just decreased the cost spell. Nothing really too serious. Oh, now this they made a lot of changes to this. Poro Herder. So now it costs 2 mana, so you can play it faster. Attack power, they decreased the attack power of course to 2 and decreased the health to 3. And now it only draws you 1 Poro card instead of 2. I think the change is, I don't know, it has its downsides and its good sides. Downside is you get less Poros. The good side is you can play it more early on curve and pretty much faster, more rushy. She Who Wanders now has regeneration. She's a Tantan. Is it a huge change? Not really. It doesn't really change much. It does though make it really hard to kill it. Unless you have a spell like a Vengeance or a Detain to take it out, this card is really hard to take it off the board. Who They Endure, a lot of people have been complaining about Who They Endure. Making it 7 mana, the thing is, when you make it 7 mana, your opponent usually doesn't drop Who They Endure at the 6th turn. A lot of the time they don't. Unless they're trying to be so much rushy or they have a lot of units that died. But in most cases, they won't drop Who They Endure at the 6th turn. This change, what this does is basically they can't play Who They Endure always and immediately attack and then Atrocity. They can pretty much do it if they have 13 mana. Does this make Who They Endure or Endure decks unplayable? Of course not, it's still really strong in the meta. I don't think the nerf actually changes much of the playstyle. Ren Shadowblade, you don't see this card at all, honestly. I don't even remember seeing the design of it. I totally forgot about it. So it now costs 4 mana, which is half. Stats are attack, it's now 3 instead of 6, and health is 3 instead of 4. Quick attack, strike, create a Shadow Fiend card in hand. So pretty much this card hasn't been played because there aren't much decks that are good that kind of synergizes with it. And basically when your opponent plays a unit, it just gets the ephemeral thingy on it. Now with quick attack, you can actually play more safely with it and actually get more than one Shadow Fiend from it. And your opponent will probably have to commit a spell to kill it. So maybe it'll be a good card. J Midarada. So now it costs 6 mana instead of 8. Health is 4 instead of 6. Attack power. I like how they're changing every really heavy card into a less heavy card and nerfing the stats a little bit just to like cope with the current meta, because the current meta is kind of rushy mid-range. These cards don't see a lot of play because they're so slow. Attack power is now 4 instead of 6. The old message, when this card is a target, draw 1 card. The new message is when this card is a target, survives, draw 1 card. I don't know, I don't think this will be playable still. I don't think it's worth it at all. 6 mana 4/4, and you need your opponent to target your card. I don't know. Escaped Abomination, the card that is created by the Cursed Keeper, is now a 4/3, which I honestly love. 4/4 has been really annoying. It has a really huge board presence. It's pretty much how Badger Bear was. Now it's 4/3, more easier to kill, honestly. Uh, the Harrowing from 10 mana to 9 mana. Uh, this card is heavy. Uh, Not much to say about it, honestly. It makes it easier to play now. Drag Dodgers was nerfed. Attack power is now 1 instead of 2. Obviously, this card is still gonna be played in deep deck. It's really too valuable. It tosses 3 cards for you, uh, which is the main goal to play this card. But Dodgers was able to uh, trade with units before. This will definitely not allow him to trade anymore. Mind Meld, this card is really interesting. You just don't see it. Pretty much because it's a slow card, and even if you buff everything, most cases you won't be able. Like they can still block your attacks, unless you pair this with an Overwhelm. I don't think this is worth it at all. Petty Officer is now 2 health instead of 1. Yeah, makes it harder to kill. Okay, stealing from deck cards, which is what most people have been complaining about. Alright, so I already read this. Pretty much now, instead of stealing cards from the top of the deck, now you steal from the bottom of the deck. This is better, definitely, but it's still annoying. But it is better knowing that your opponent didn't change your gameplay. Like, the card you were gonna draw, you're gonna still draw. And let's say you're playing Trapper, they can't steal your Enraged Yeti anymore. Actually, thinking about it now, it might actually be a buff. Like usually when they steal from the top of your deck, uh, you get to draw your champions much faster. But now since they draw from the bottom of your deck, they don't affect your champion draw. So maybe it's actually a buff, not a nerf. So it kind of depends on which kind of decks you're playing. So let's say you're playing against Karmalux, that's probably a buff to Karmalux. Or if you're playing against Deep, you get to draw your Nautilus or Maokai at a lower rate, since they're stealing from the bottom of your deck. Black Merchant, nerfed 1 health, that's really good, I like this. Black Merchant is really annoying. Preferred Goods and Yordle Grifter, they pretty much just changed the wording. Now it's called NAB. Here they pretty much just changed wordings. New board for Listen, it looks really cool. New Guardian Von Yip looks super cute. Already saw these, honestly. The card backs are really nice. I like the Misfortune one most. Emotes, I don't like Fizz. I don't know why. I just feel like he looks weird in this. Vi looks really cute, and Cytheria looks really worried. That's pretty much about it. Take care, guys, and goodbye.